Never Fear Man. Little behind the scenes, after the fact situation. More like a commentary, director's commentary type deal, because I didn't actually plan for a behind the scenes when we were making the movie, unlike we did for the new feature we're currently making, My Name's Not Stam. I must say, I'm very glad Never Fear Man is over, finished filming, uploaded, it's all done, because it was a great time making the movie, making Never Fear Man, had a great time doing it with my mates and all that. But there's a few specific situations in which it was kind of a nightmare to get done, which we'll get into when those scenes come up. First things first, we shot this on my mate's Huggies Lumix G7 and used the same lens throughout the entire movie, the Lumix HD 14 to 42mm. It's a pretty good little camera, but I never felt at home with it because it's not my camera, and that's part of the reason why I've spent all my money on my own setup, the Sony FX3, which is what I'm filming this with, after Never Fear Man, right? So I could feel at home with my own camera. There was an important upgrade aspect though with the movie, Never Fear Man, which was the sound. The Rode NTG4 Plus boom microphone, hooked up to the Zoom H5 recorder with a good quality XLR cable. And then that records its own sound to a little SD card, so you've got a separate track and you just sync that up in post, no problem. It's a safety measure as well. That did mean I needed another whole guy on the set at all times, basically, to do sound and hold the boom mic as opposed to just having the on-camera mic. But thanks to Lil D, Danny, my main man, Daniel Smethurst, came in absolutely clutch. Man is just good at the job now. Never done it before, but jumps on. Oh, calculates it. Yeah, easy peasy, but yeah, no problem. Whenever we do a shoot now, he just hooks that up and he flipping knows what he's doing easy enough. So, very good.
I think hamburgers and cheeseburgers work well with fries.
The first scene we recorded was the cold open. Danny's got his neck cut and he's like running through and blood spraying out. Unfortunately, the scene was a lot darker than I wanted it to be. Like literally, the actual light was really low, which is probably my fault for not knowing the camera properly, like I said before. So we had a weed sprayer hooked up to a silicone tube, put that through Danny's pants, had the cut in the neck, and freaking I was walking behind him and pumping it and spraying the blood as he's, stumbling around. I thought it was going to be much easier than it was to paint myself out, You do the run through, or you have it frame without any movement, with just an empty frame. Then you do the run through, and then you just replace one part of it with the empty frame. But man, I'm just so terrible at VFX or something. Got zero talent in that area. I could not get it sussed out. I'm literally sitting there for like 2 days on my computer just locking in trying to get this done frame by frame. It looked terrible. Thankfully, my man Seth Pemberton came in clutch and he literally, I gave the clip to him and he flipping whipped it up in like 2 hours and gave me the perfect bloody one that we use in the movie. So, thank goodness for that. After the cold open, the opening credit scene where I'm running and listening to the music was one of the more difficult scenes to shoot low-key. The way I could think to get the smooth camera run while I'm running forward, the camera's in front of me moving, was to build this ridiculous contraption, PVC pipe, attach this bag, put the camera on there, and then Eggs riding his e-scooter forward while I'm sort of running after him behind him, and just hope the angle is right. Because we can't see what's recording. You just gotta be like, Egg, just hold still and try and ride, and I'm just going behind him. And we got the best we could get basically with that tactic. Having the time when I carelessly ran out in front of a car on the road was as difficult as I'm sure it sounds it is, or it was. I didn't want to just run in front of a random car and risk getting hit, obviously. But not so obvious because I genuinely thought about doing so. However, I know people's mindsets on the road. I know that some people wouldn't even try to slow down just to make a point of it. They'll just keep driving and there could be something serious happening. And also, probably illegal and dangerous. So I wouldn't do it, bro. I wasn't even thinking about doing it. So what we had to do was we had Danny doing the driving and he had Sean was on the phone, Eggs recording with this heavy ass manual gimbal, like not a light little nice gimbal, freaking heavy ass manual one. Eggs running across the road, can't even see where he's going. Well, I'm just going for my normal run. Danny's driving down the road. Got Sean on the phone. He's like, okay, yeah, go now. And then we just kind of like run out of the little alleyway because he can't really see us either until we come out onto the road. And every time we failed it, he would have to do this long ass drive all the way back around and like try again. And it took a few tries and it was very difficult. And Egg nearly tripped over multiple times because of the heavy ass gimbal. But the shot was worth it in the end, in my opinion. Even though it wasn't as perfect as I I think it was good enough in the end. Now for the most ridiculous contraption you've seen, for this shot was just a long ass PVC pipe held out the car window. I'm not a builder or a plumber or whatever, so finding all the right parts was flippin' hard. I'm literally on the floor at Bunnings for like 45 minutes trying to find all these connecting parts to work best. End up costing me like $100 to make, so I haven't even got the heart to throw it out, but it takes up a lot of space and I don't even know what other shots I'm going to be using it for realistically. Like probably the same shots out a car window. But that's kind of a mainstay of these small contraptions I've used for custom camera mounts. PVC pipe, cut out a little custom grip sort of hole, put the camera on the tripod mount, and then you just wedge it in there. It's not very solid at all. With a lighter camera like the Lumix G7, not such a big deal. It sits on there pretty easy. But with my current setup, with the monitor and all that kind of stuff, pretty scary. Wouldn't use a monitor if I'm doing the shot myself. But, still scary, right? It's freaking like 5, 8, 10 grand I'm putting on the end of this PVC pipe. For what shot? I don't know. Holding out of a car window is kind of the only other shot you can do it for, is all I can really think. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll find something. Anyway. For this shot here, let me give a word of warning. Even though it's a sick shot, it looks really cool. If you're just going to full sprint, hard and as fast for as long as possible, stretch, warm up properly, because man, I could not walk properly for like 2 days after this shoot. Even though I didn't pull anything, I just went too hard too quick, I think. And that was the last running shot we got, because I'm like, I can't run anymore after this. One of the things I wanted to do for this movie was look different, not just my regular old Corey self. So that's why I grew the beard. That's partly why I grew the beard. I actually also fricked my shoulder up like it was broken, and I couldn't use my arm. I was freaking in a cast, so I couldn't shave. So that's part of the reason why I started growing a beard. And then I was like, nah, I actually need this anyway because I'm going to do a movie. I want to look different for it. So I didn't shave this part here of the beard. Didn't shave those parts, just let them grow, kind of be a bit gruff. That way, the guy, Caden that I was playing, he doesn't care about that kind of thing. And brought my hair down as well. And also got some fake tattoos. Had that little wrist piece. I ordered 10 of them. And I guess because I got so many of them, they threw in a few free pieces as well, including the back piece, that like little wings or whatever the hell it was. And I thought, yeah, wait a second, was it wings? I think so. Whatever it was, they threw that in, and I was like, cool, I'll chuck it on. But it just meant that I had to do all of that shooting with my exposed back in like 2 days, basically, because it runs out in like 3 days. The first scene of me running with my exposed back, you can tell that it's all smudged out, which is so cringe, but like it doesn't matter, bro. We'll just pretend that my character got his tattoo hell fresh. That's why it's like that. I don't know. But then the first drug drop attempt, and then later on with me like doing some pull-ups and punching the boxing bag. Had to do that all in one weekend, but it was good. It was a productive weekend, so it was okay. For the drug drop, this scene was a nightmare to edit. So difficult that in the end I couldn't do it, and it just sounds bad. The final version of the movie, this scene, it sounds awful. Trying to do because every angle we change, obviously the car's running, we're driving, and like trying to sync that all up, it's going to sound a little bit different each time. How? I don't know how you do that. Maybe that's why in other movies they have the car in the trailer, because that's not an issue they got to deal with. I don't know. Really don't know how you're supposed to deal with that. The future options are to have a quieter car, which my new car is quieter, or like have kind of one take kind of deals where the camera's just in the back and like two actors are talking. The issue with that could definitely be sound, but we're just going to kind of see how we go, I think. Do a few different options for this new movie that we're making. Because, yeah, filming inside of a car, I don't know, man. Freaking difficult, bro. If you're having, like, long, big conversations, you know what I mean? Some feedback that I've had, because obviously the movie's been out for a while now, is the pacing of this scene. We do the drug drop, and then I show the scene, in the drive in real time as we come around and get the cash. And people said, that's too slow, man. Now, when I was editing this scene, I actually tried to shorten it down, but I just couldn't cut it in a way that wasn't jarring or like awkward. And over time, while I was editing it, I actually came to like the real-time waiting aspect. I feel like it offers kind of some tension building and just lets us sit in what's happening. Especially considering later on, there's a purposeful real-time driving scene. After my character gets a phone call from Joel and he's driving back, I'm like, you know what? I need to sit in the moment, let the music build, let the tension build, and we're just like, oh, what's happening as he's driving towards Joel's house. And it was like a real pivotal moment, I feel like, where the character changed. So it made sense to me to have the same kind of idea, the same kind of vibe, that real-time driving, parallel between each other. One where Caden's about to fully change and everything's going to go differently, and then one where it's like the early stages of the movie before the proper inciting incident. 2 inciting incidents, you know. The first one where things go off, where they meet the killer, and the second one where everything's gone for its final change and we go to the third act. I think those scenes work well paralleling to each other the way they are in the real-time scene. So that's my response to the criticism of the pacing of that real-time driving scene for the drug drop. Okay, after that, here we go. Now, criticism, I can't defend this. We have one of the big issues I have with the whole movie, which is the VFX. I am not a VFX guy like we've already discovered and I mentioned before. I'm just can't do them, not interested. It's like you need to learn a whole other thing, which is just not me, bro. You can only do... Life is so short, bro. There's not enough hours in the day. There's only so much you can dedicate your time to doing. VFX for me is not one of them. So why then would I write the need for VFX in my zero budget short film? I paid a dude on Fiverr like $200 to $300 for this piece of crap. What I should have done was set aside a couple of G's, maybe like freaking, a few grand, made proper practical effects. Get like a fake Zacky's head or something like that we can smash in with the machete. That way, when the scene kind of cuts to it quickly, it's like that's how I would love people to be reacting. Like in Green Room, where you're seeing this, oh my goodness, all of a sudden it's like really disgusting, or freaking, you know what I mean? Like it sticks with you. That's what I would have loved to have. Same thing where Cribbo, where the killer goes and hacks at the real estate lady's ankle, at Desiree's ankle. Imagine there was like a hell cool practical effect real quick where it goes down and it like hits this thing and like this bone comes out and this blood comes out and like for a real quick second, you see something hell disgusting. That's what I would have loved to invoke, but didn't have the planning for it. So you either need to plan for it like that with money and practical effects, or write around that. And I failed at both. And that's a thing of commitment, which is what I learned from making this movie. And life in general, you got to sort of commit to doing things one way. If you want to have a cool, gory, bloody kill, do it properly, bro. Don't just be like, oh yeah, we'll kind of work it out sort of later. Now, I'm not saying I didn't do any commitment or any practicing or figuring out at all, because I still had traced around Zacky's head. Then I made a fake version of the machete with his head sort of cut out, and then that way we reversed the footage, put the machete on him, and then pulled it backwards. But yeah, in the end, it looks like dog water. Still, what are you going to do? Just because I may as well. This character here, this older gentleman, who may or may not be my granddad, the point of his character was that he was like a guy just walking past on his morning walk or whatever, and he's seen this dead body, and he walks over to it to check it out. It's supposed to be a piece in showing the progression of the collapse situation, that he's tried calling 000, but he's like, is he lying about the responses received, or are things cutting intermittently in and out, or is he just trying to make sense of things himself, like what's going on? It all makes sense to me, but I'm not actually sure how it comes across to other people, but I don't think it's any kind of real issue regardless. I just, in case anyone's kind of confused about that, there you go. There's not much to say about the burying scene either. We mixed up Huggy's Lumix G7, which shoots in 4K, and my Canon 70D, which shoots in 1080p. And it's pretty noticeable, the difference, let's be honest. One of my favourite shots in the whole movie is the low angle shot when I'm, digging the hole out, which was shot on my camera, 1080p. And when you know your own camera, you're actually able to get better shots, even though the quality is technically lower. Realistically, we should have shot more of this movie on my 70D in 1080p, just so it would have probably looked better in the end. But I wanted this to be a better movie than it was in the end, because I wanted to submit it to festivals and that kind of stuff, so I wanted it to be in 4K. Speaking of festivals, little segue, Cut, short film by my homie Ashton Crompton, won like 1 billion awards to these festivals they submitted it to. And not at all to talk bad about Cut. Ashton, love you, bro. You're a freaking good filmmaker. I thought if Cut can win all these awards, Never Fear Man's got a freaking decent chance as well. So I spent like $200 submitting to all these festivals, which was just a waste of time and money. I don't even think there were any prizes or anything like attributed to the awards, to winning. So what would winning have actually done? If I was going to Perth film festivals or WA film festivals to like network and see other people's creations and like, oh, this is cool, bro, you want to see mine? Oh, yeah, what do you think? That's one thing, that's different. But it wasn't selected at any WA film festivals. I think it might have been selected somewhere else, which I can't even remember because like they, I guess, didn't communicate with me, or maybe I didn't pay attention or something. Not winning any awards, that's one thing. But like when you're seeing someone else's film that you think, bro, my film's like as good as that, surely. And then they get 1 billion awards and you get none. Not only do you get none, you don't even get selected to be shown. And it's like they're similar length films as well. Man, it hurts, bro. It hurts. You like really kind of second think yourself. You're like, no one else clearly liked my work, so should I? Should I even have respect for my own movie or my own work that I made? Yeah, obviously I was pretty butthurt about the whole festival experience, which was made worse by two things. Firstly, the plan was to show the movie at Luna alongside Mortal Kombat Resurgence, which Ashton made and I'm in, and you should definitely watch, by the way. Because that movie was like half an hour, I think it's like 24 minutes. Never Fear Man was half an hour, so I was like, it would have been a good showing, we had a couple shorts in there between somewhere as well. So I finished Never Fear Man. I literally held on to it for like 8 months. I was just holding on to it for ages, waiting for us to do a showing. And eventually, kind of, in contact with the Lens Flip fellas, and they're like, hey man, we're actually just doing a Lens Flip showing, we're just showing Lens Flip movies, so we don't want Never Fear Man, sorry about that. Bro, that freaking hurt, man. Not gonna lie to you, that freaking hurt. It is totally fine, like I completely understand, absolutely zero qualms with his Lens Flip boys, I freaking love every single one of them. I'm hoping to continue to do work with them, be in their little pieces or freaking big pieces, whatever, bro, love those guys to bits. And it's their showing, bro. They organise it. Like, you do whatever the hell you want. If it's your movie night, you organise it, bro. You tell this guy to piss off, it's no problem at all. It's your thing. And if I really wanted to do a showing, I would have done it. I could have done it myself, okay? Like, I'm freaking being a little bitch, realistically. Being a little butthurt crybaby. Me, go cry some more. When it's like, mate, you want to do a movie showing? Do your own freaking movie showing. Don't leech on other people's, which is what I was kind of sort of trying to do, you know what I mean? They did show the Never Fear Man trailer at the freaking Luna Palace Lens Flip showing, and that felt good, man. Speaking of trailers, when it comes to them, I try and avoid them almost at all costs. Going in blind is always the best way to go. Especially though, it doesn't help when movie trailers today, they just show you freaking everything. Every plot point, every plot twist, every scene from every act of the movie, they just condense the movie into like a 2-minute recap, and it's like, oh, I've seen the whole movie now, great. So why do people do this with trailers, bro? It really pisses me off. So that's why for me, I'm like, dude, a trailer should just give you the vibes, basically, and some general underlying feelings of what you're going to be kind of going in to see, and what you should maybe feel, and that is what I did with the Never Fear Man trailer. That's why it's so short. It's like, what, freaking 20-30 seconds, tells you so little, one bit of dialogue and some little scenes. You're like, bro, what the hell is this telling me? But I freaking love it, bro. The trailer for Never Fear Man is a good ass trailer, dude. Like, tell me that I'm wrong. Frick it, bro. Watch it right now. Ready?
Run up on me, that's a no-go.
That is how we guarantee our safety in a place like this.
That's how it seems.
Is that not hype? Maybe not, maybe you don't understand, maybe you don't get it, and that's fine, bro. But people that do get it, they're my kind of people. When I was talking about it with Huggy, he didn't necessarily agree or disagree, but he did say it's a very me trailer. And he's right. And I'm right, and therefore, it's a good trailer. Now, I know I'm just jerking myself off here, but at the Lens Flip showing, when they were showing the trailers, there was one that was just very standard. Very plain, like Hollywood-ass editing, and it was freaking like, Okay, bro, cool. It didn't like really freaking interest me at all in the movie because I was like, yeah, this is a movie that freaking exists, bro, and I'm sure I've seen before, and I'm sure it's gonna be okay. If your trailer can't be exciting and unique and intriguing, then how is your movie gonna be? But when Never Fear Man trailer come on, I'm being an asshole, bro. I'm jerking myself off while talking down about others. What a terrible guy that I am. But I'm gonna keep going with it anyway because when the Never Fear Man trailer came on, most people were like, whatever, bro, didn't really care. But about like halfway through or towards the end, there was an audible voice. I heard some girl go, ooh, bro. And she didn't know who I was. She didn't know if I was even there. I was upstairs, she was downstairs. And she just freaking, ooh, like she's intrigued, bro. Like, what the heck is going on here? This is a little fancy. Ooh, what's going on here, bro? Literally a life freaking highlight, bro. Highlight of my life because she gets it. She gets it. Who was that? If maybe you're watching right now. Who are you, bro? I don't remember who you were. Anyway, that's enough patting myself on the back. Now I'm going to get back to crying again over my poor festival experience. So, I submitted Never Fear Man to the WA Made Film Festival 2026. Got a response back and they rejected it, which I understand. It's very hard to plan around a 33-minute movie for shorts. It would have to be really good because you got to cut out a bunch of other films to put that one in there. And unfortunately, Never Fear Man is just not at that level, okay? So then I'm looking through the promos and stuff for the WA Made Film Festival, seeing what else they got showing, see like the quality of things. Like they rejected Never Fear Man, so what's the quality of other stuff? Hopefully it's pretty decent, right? And I'm seeing this trailer for this movie and I'm thinking, it doesn't look very good, compositionally and technically speaking. And then all of a sudden, it cuts to a scene that had me cursing the fact that I was born with eyes. I almost freaking smashed my computer and jumped out my own window. The only reason I didn't is because I don't live on a second-story house, so I would have just smashed my window and maybe hurt myself. I wouldn't have died, and that's what I wanted to do at the time. But also, they showed Adore work at the WA Made Film Festival, and the quality of all the shorts on that night was freaking high, bro, in terms of at least technical and visual quality. I was like, wow, bro, they're freaking showing our movie like with these? Wow, bro, that felt pretty special. Anyway, I'm sure you've heard enough of me crying, because we did a home showing with some of the homies, and that was great. More recently, I rewatched it with Jacob and Caleb, and I was like, yeah, bro, this is a freaking solid little short film. You know what? I'm happy enough that this is in my bloody repertoire. This is in my, what do you call that, bro? In my, like, catalogue. On the Turtle House Film YouTube channel. I'm happy enough that we made this little short film. It's pretty decent, I reckon. Solid enough. Happy enough that I'm freaking still bloody however long later making this behind the scenes breakdown anyway. Wait, check this out. In case you didn't notice, when we're burying Isaac, the dust clears, slow zoom in. If you pay attention, you can see the killer chilling away, watch them like a little creepy fella. That's how he actually finds them in the next scene for Joel's death, the poor bastard. He's actually been following them since killing Isaac, or at least since they went back and got his body. That's kind of when the killer started following them. Quick shout out to Altus for the TV tip. You don't want just black if you're shooting bloody, TV in the background because of reflections and that kind of thing. So put up like a static YouTube video. That way you don't have to worry about continuity as well, as opposed to having like a freaking movie on or something. And honestly, I think it just looks good as a backdrop. Okay, what do you do when you want to spill some blood, fake blood, but you don't want to actually ruin furniture, carpets, whatever? You go to Facebook Marketplace, you buy some couches from there, you get a bunch of carpet from Carpet Shop Bins, ask them first obviously, and now you can bloody them up as much as you want and just like take them to the tip later, or put them in your garage as gym flooring. But also, buy a bunch of tape and seal the bottom of the carpet properly. Probably with tarp, not Glad wrap. Because if you do Glad wrap, it's going to seep through, obviously, because you can't cover it properly because you're a dumbass, and you're just going to permanently ruin your own carpet in your house because you got blood all over your freaking carpet, you dickhead. When Caden gets a call from Joel, and I freaking turn around and do the long take driving scene that we were talking about earlier, poor Sean, man, my cousin, he's freaking in the bottom of this freaking, like, the passenger door wheel, holding up the camera, just filming as I genuinely just drive like a crazy person. He's freaking trying to bash and just trying to hold the most still shot possible. And we finish the shot, we freaking pull up to the driveway, and Sean's like, you probably didn't need to actually drive that hard and fast. So you can't really tell how fast we're going in here. And I was like, you know what? You're right. But I actually like how messy it is. I kind of like how it's overexposed. I did the overexposing on purpose, basically. From going out there because he kind of like thinking getting crazy. He's like losing his mind. Egg! One of my absolute main fellas. When you've got an egg in your life, you just can't do life without him, okay? He's too good. Love that guy very much. Hopefully everyone's got an egg in their life. Maybe not, because Egg's a unique ass dude. So you probably haven't got an egg in your life, and for that, I feel bad for you. Now, because Egg's only filming experience is just doing like short film stuff with me, he's no cinematographer. Because of that, he's very 50-50. He either does a great job or not a great job. Egg was a cameraman behind the opening scene we had to completely throw out and reshoot. But to be fair, that's obviously my fault above anyone else's because it's freaking my movie and I'm directing and all that kind of stuff. But with this scene here, he freaking nailed it, bro. Perfected that thing. Got everything like literally how I wanted it. For some reason, I think we were at Bunnings practicing the shoot, just me and Egg. Why in the world, I cannot remember. But when it come to actually doing it, literally got it first go. Though we shot it, I think, 4 times. Running out of battery here, so I gotta go through this quick. For this little shimmering type tripping effect, I copied the video, moved it forward or backward like 1 frame, and then made it 50 or 20% capacity, whatever. Simple but effective, I think, in sort of like tripping out what's going on. So, good job, Egg. Very nice work. That's a separate little piece, but yeah. Shimmering trippy effect. Egg's great. Egg's great. Shimmering trippy effect. Egg's great again. Good job, Egg. Freaking happy for you, bro. Happy because of you, bro. Thank you. I wish that's where I could end talking about this scene, but I have to talk about this. I can very much easily be a dumbass, such as on this day. For some stupid reason, I really wanted my character to throw up at this revelation that his now last mate has been killed, because now his whole world has fallen apart, okay? Not only did this mate die while he was in some sort of argument with him after they just buried their other mate, but now his whole plan he had to protect himself and benefit in this societal collapse is gone. Now, because it's a long take, I can't just hold something in my mouth and spit it up. I would actually have to throw up. But how do you make yourself throw up like that? I did some research, if you can call it that, and read that if you drink warm, salty water, it will make you throw up in about 20 minutes. So that's what I did. I drank warm, disgusting, salty water, like a full glass. Like half a glass or a freaking full glass. Went through the scene multiple times, but nothing. I don't even think I felt sick, right? Didn't throw up, nothing happened. Went through the rest of the day, no problem. The next day, no problem once again, all good. So, what's this claim all about, bro? What do you mean you freaking throw up when you drink warm, salty water? I haven't got like a particularly strong gut or anything, so I don't freaking know, bro. Just maybe some weird nonsense. Until the next day, 2 days after the freaking filming, I was probably the sickest I had ever been in my entire life up until that point. The whole day I was absolutely horrendous, chucking my guts up all over the place, in absolute agony, literally top 5 worst experiences of all time. So, my life advice to you that you probably would never need, don't try and make yourself sick, don't drink warm salty water unless you want to find yourself on the brink of death 2 days later. Okay, now on to some more positive news. The killing spree. Smashing my own door in. I bought a cheapie off Marketplace. I didn't fully commit. I didn't want to damage the frame of the door, so I just kind of wedged it in there with like some wood chips or whatever. In the end, it doesn't actually look that great, but whatever, I guess the point across. Stabbing this bloke, John Parsons. What a freaking legend, bro. What a legend of an actor. I would never recommend this, obviously, and also, I don't know if you'd be able to find an actor that would actually be able to let you do this anyway, but we actually literally stabbed him. And by that I mean, I taped this hard plate that I had to him under his shirt, taped the bag of blood to him, and then just hit that with a machete so it would burst out and freaking the blood would go everywhere. Problem is only a relatively small plate. You couldn't see it underneath the shirt, so we just kind of had to be like, okay, it's there, and Gribber just had to kind of put it where we knew that it was and just hope we got it right. And obviously we did. It's an edge. The blade is at an edge. It wasn't a point, so it wouldn't have actually freaking pierced him. Even if he missed, it would have been fine. But still a big metal blade. And you couldn't even see it in the end anyway. It didn't actually look that good. Didn't like burst out anywhere. But it and I think where the blood fell out was out of frame anyway. But we replicated it later on when we stabbed my boy Zabi. Stabbed him, same thing. Hoodie over the blood bag with the plate taped to it. Blood bag taped to the plate. Stabbed him, blood came out. Looked much better, I thought. When I say like a real blade, it's not a real machete, so don't anyone do a search warrant on my house. Okay, I'm not incriminating myself. It's basically just like a metal polished piece that, looks like a machete, but it is heavy, it is metal. It looks really good on camera and in real life, but it's not a real machete, bro, so relax, okay? Relax, I'm not breaking the law. So for the rest of the scene, I was going for a long take, a one take, obviously. Now, the problem is with doing one takes, you need to get it right all the way, otherwise, because you haven't got any options to cut between. So if you do a take and the first half is good to the first take, the second half is good to the second take, if it's one long take, there's nowhere to cut. However, if the camera's moving around a lot, you might be able to get away with that, which you can probably tell is what we did for the killing spree scene. As Gribbo runs around the corner, it does a cut there, because the camera was in a similar enough position. And I think it's moving fast enough that it's not a big deal, you can't really tell, so it's fine. Doesn't, take you out of it, it's not jarring. But you just got to weigh up the value of doing longer takes, I suppose, and try and get it right first go. But, I managed to kind of get the best of both worlds, essentially. So here's another lesson where sometimes you just got to spend more time thinking about an idea. Otherwise, you just will end up thinking, bro, I'm the biggest idiot imaginable. How did I mess this up this way? Cutting off the head. Gribbo chases after Sienna. There was no character name. Sienna's the actor. Gribbo chases after Sienna, grabs her, cuts her head off. So this is how he did it, because it was a one take. Gribbo, I had a teddy bear head. Teddy bear head that I'd taken the foam out, taken the fluff out, and I'd put in some like little sandbags with some weight. Put blood bags in there. Gribbo runs over, grabs Sienna, pulls her down. She rolls out of frame. Sean is hiding in the corner of the room as we get in there, and he sneaks under and he hands Gribbo this teddy bear head and he stabs the blood bags and he freaking crawls away. Then Gribbo gets and he walks away and he drops the teddy bear head on the ground. I had 2 wigs, one for Sienna to wear and then one to put on the teddy bear so the hair was matching. It's like, oh, it's the same person. However, every single time Sean handed the teddy bear head to Gribbo, the teddy bear's face would be facing the camera. And so we'd walk away and like, oh my goodness, we did it 3 times and we ran out of blood. And we had to keep cleaning the floor every single time, and it really was a nightmare. And I was like, we just have to freaking work with what we got somehow, because we haven't got any blood to retry it again anyway. And also I was like, I just need to freaking move on from this damn shot, because it was a one take every single time. It was a freaking long setup. So I realized I'm so stupid, because why wouldn't I buy 3 wigs? Cover the front of the teddy bear and the back of the teddy bear, and then one for Sienna. Then it doesn't matter. Then you have to be specific. You just grab the teddy bear head, boom, and there you go, it's done. But yeah, what an idiot, bro. In the end, I had to pay this guy on Fiverr to cover it up. In a first quick viewing, you may not really be able to tell, because the sound effect is really good, the blood dripping and he drops it, okay, cool. But if you look at it all properly, it looks atrocious. I had to pay a guy on Fiverr. I did a lot of work for him. I was holding up hair in the green screen, giving him proper keys, all that kind of stuff. And I gave him the assets, and he did his little, green screen the hair over it. And it just looks terrible. Not that it's really his fault. I don't know how you'd make it look good. I don't think you could. But yeah, it looks like dog water. And it's a real shame, because we put in proper effort for the practical aspect, but we didn't do it right, because I'm an idiot. And I didn't think about it long enough. There's one part where, Gribbo is fighting Matty T, my mate, and Desiree, and he's grabbing her by the ankle, and she's like, and then she falls back into the door. Whoa, take it easy, bro. She's like, my leg stuck, and she pulls out and she smacks into the door and she falls behind. For that scene, I just put a bunch of pillows and clothes and all this kind of stuff, and I was just like, Desiree, you just got to fall back, hit the door, and you'll fall back onto all the soft stuff and you'll be good. Pretty scary, but she's a champ and she's a legend, so she did it. Aside from that, the only thing to really talk about, I suppose, is a potential missable beat that I think people may be a bit confused about, or can be, is when Caden, my character, he drives over, he sees a killer, gets afraid, reverses out, and he looks forward, and he sees a guy boarding up his windows. That's supposed to show that now society is catching onto the collapse. This guy's getting aware, and so he's boarding his windows up. That was Huggy doing that, and then that kind of kicks him into gear, and he's like, okay, that's it, bro, no more time to muck around, I'm moving ahead. And he kind of overcomes that fear a little bit more. The killer lair. The first scene we shot was the cold open, as I discussed, but the second proper scene that we shot was this scene here, the killer lair. The reason we shot this first is because the location was time sensitive. It was at my cousin's house before it was built up. It just had the slab and the freaking brick walls. And I was like, character-wise, it's kind of supposed to maybe be the killer is his house is trying to be built up, but it's been failing and it's not happening. This collapse is kind of part of that maybe, but I don't know, whatever. It doesn't really matter because it's a sick-ass looking location. Not only was this the first scene we shot, this was the first scene, first acting Gribbo had ever done in his entire life. And it was like the biggest demand. Bro, big acting, requiring a lot, and I was like, hey Gribbo, bro, this is it, this is you, you're a freaking actor now. And he's like, okay, let's do this. And dude, he did a freaking amazing job. What a guy, bro. What a scene for an actor. For the first time he ever done acting before. He doesn't care about moving on, doing more acting. He was just doing it to do a project with me and freaking have a good time. And this is what he pulled off. Really proud of the man. Gribbo was already a good mate of mine beforehand. And I remember we were both at a Jits cast doing some BJJ, looking out the window onto the street below. And I brought it up, asking him, like, Gribbo, you want to be a serial killer in this film that we're making? Because we kind of like talked about doing, because he knows that I love to make films, that kind of thing. And it just kind of came up. I was like, Gribbo, I reckon you could be a good serial killer in this movie that I'm making. And he was like, you know what? Freak it, bro, let's do it. And we had the desire, the goal to like do like a fight scene at the end. And I think I'm wondering if I wrote the film with him in mind, or I'd written like half of it and then I asked him. Can't remember exactly. But yeah, from the get-go, it was always Gribbo going to be the serial killer, essentially. Because that's one thing that I wanted with this monster kind of character, okay? Gribbo he's not a freaking massive, tall, Jason Voorhees-ass monster, but he's strong and he's powerful. You'll know that if you've ever rolled with him. And he's kind of realistic in the sense that, bro, I wanted a monster villain that wasn't that Jason Voorhees kind of guy, because that would piss me off about the Friday the 13th movies, where like he would just stand there and he'd walk and they run in the corner and he's there. And it's like, okay, cool, bro. Let's have it realistic, where he's freaking running around and he's a guy. He's just a guy and he's putting the effort in. Just a powerful dude running around, but he's a normal guy. And Gribbo's got that good build. He's freaking brown belt, hopefully black belt at some point in judo. And I thought he's a good build, good guy to play this role, because that's the kind of guy that I'd be afraid of if he was running around killing people. Okay, I will say this, the point of the character, and this is not an attack on Gribbo at all, the point of the character wasn't brought out super well in that scene. Kind of was missed a bit, because he's not actually supposed to be this just full-on crazy dude. He's supposed to be more talking to himself and kind of convincing himself to move on to do what he's going to do next, which is just like start kind of killing everybody without worrying about sparing people, that sort of thing. But that was very hard to direct, very hard to explain, and so I kind of just accepted this version of the character, which I thought was fine. Trying to explain to a first-time actor specifically as well, like the nuance of what I'm trying to pull off, man, I don't know, bro, I'm not a talented enough director. But again, no issues with Gribbo's performance, did a fantastic job. I think I wanted to remove the excuse of his character being a crazy person, because kind of the idea is that like anyone can go down this path if you commit to it, right? Kind of life is a lot about commitment. If you commit to something, you can do it. And so this guy's like, I'm committing to killing people, bro. You don't need to be crazy to do that. That's something that you can do. Okay, you're responsible for your actions. But in the end, I think his character was more ambiguous, because my character and his character were just having a discussion, and he's not crazy there, is he? It just seems like he's talking like a normal dude. So it's kind of like, what's exactly his deal? Is he actually freaking cooked in the head? Is a bit more ambiguous, and I was pretty happy with that actually in the end. Music video. Okay, I know everybody is, but I'm a music enjoyer. I love going to live local gigs. I love sometimes just listening to music and doing nothing else. There's some artists, some songs where you're like, I'm doing nothing else but listening to this music right now. And that's freaking music you can appreciate. One thing I wanted to do was blend the music in with this film. So like for the opening scene, it's not just playing in the background. Caden, the character, is listening to the song while the opening credits are going. He's rapping along to it. And one thing I really wanted to do was have a whole ass song, like a music video essentially, in the movie, which is what I did, using my boy Caleb's music. Everything, I think pretty much everything except for like one song in this movie is all unreleased, exclusive Caleb stuff. So you're welcome, bro. Some exclusive Caleb beats. You want to hear some Caleb exclusivity, Never Fear Man is the place you can find it. including a freaking whole ass music video. I thought, like when he wakes up and there's his little alarm tone for waking up, that's Caleb beat. When he gets a phone call from Joel, that's a Caleb beat. Freaking Caleb whole ass song when he's like psyching himself up to chase after him. Obviously I've got the Caleb music playing as I'm doing my pull-ups and hitting the bag to like hit the beats of the song, that kind of thing, little montage. Yeah, bro, freaking music. Okay. The end fight scene. The climax of the film. Couple things to talk about here. Firstly, the dream was to have the movie finish on the sun rising. We do this big fight. My character and the killer character has actually been up for like a kind of a day or two straight. And as the sun rises, the drone pulls out. It symbolizes a new day. The carjacking happens, and it's like a new era in the lives of these characters. We're going on to a world with this collapsed society, and that's kind of how it's supposed to be symbolized by a new day. Obviously, that's not how it ended up happening. Couple things. Firstly, I got permission to use the rooftop, which was, obviously I did because I shot there. I'm a guerrilla kind of guy. I don't usually care about or want permission. I just freaking go and I do it and get out. But I couldn't do that with this location. I was scouting it. I went up there. Within 5 minutes, security is up. Like, hey, what are you guys doing? You got to get out of here. And I'm like, broski, it's a car park, bro. The whole thing is opened. Why can't we be up here if it's an open car park? Why do you have a top floor if it's going to be closed off? But anyway, it's all fine. Got permission to use it. No problemo. 2 problems. Number 1, I'm a dumbass. And I'm thinking, Gribbo, we'll get you to take off your jacket when you get up there because we're going to be fighting, moving around a lot. We're going to get hot and sweaty, so you're not going to want to wear a jacket. Not thinking that, wait a second, we're not having a fight, we're filming a scene. So there's lots of stopping and putting on makeup and slowing down, that kind of stuff. So, dude, as the night's going, there's rain coming down and stuff, Gribbo he's having a hypothermia, bro. I remember looking at one point, Gribbo's just on the ground, freezing his ass off, and I'm just like hyped up on adrenaline because this is my movie and I just want to keep going. I'm freaking stressed out trying to do all these things, and I look over to Gribbo, he's freezing his ass off, and I'm thinking, what a dumbass, bro. Why wouldn't I just have him wear the jacket? That would have been fine. But anyway, he's freezing his ass off, everyone else is freezing their asses off, and it's like literally 3 o'clock in the morning. Timing wise to me, I'm thinking this would be perfect because we just keep going and we're going to finish, the sun's going to rise. But I don't think, I mustn't have communicated it to them properly. They weren't actually ready for a whole night shoot because everyone's got lives, bro. I'm the freaking, guy who's like, I don't care, let's just freaking keep going. But it's, Danny's got a life, Ashton's got a life, Gribber's got a life, they all got things to do. And they're like, I didn't think I was going to be up all night long. And I'm like, oh, sorry about that. But anyway, probably for the best, the security come along because they're like, hey, we're closing down the car park. It's not a 24-hour car park. They start closing at like midnight, but I guess they held on for us, thankfully, because, it was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when they came by. Like, hey, guys, you got to get out. We still had probably half the shoot to do, and I was like, everyone wants to go home. They're kicking us out, so we can't stay anyway, so fine. We'll leave, and we'll just finish it off another time. Problem is, another time was a long-ass time away. Because that location is where Rooftop Movies is held in Perth City. They have half of the year, it seems, for the summer months, they have Rooftop Movies where, they freaking put chairs and all that, beanbags and stuff, have a big ass screen, you watch movies at. I've been there a couple of times, fun little experience. But obviously, we can't shoot while Rooftop Movies is on because it's not a clear rooftop, it's a freaking full of stuff. So we had to wait for that scene to be cleared up. And then just trying to line up schedules and that kind of thing, and like the kind of weather being the same and having like the wet ground or whatever, it was kind of just like, we might as well just wait until it's the same time that we shot it the time before. So literally it was a full year later, we shot the rest of that scene. Thankfully, you can't tell. You generally can't tell. There's a few little pieces, like when Gribbo's choking me and pulling me back, I do some like weird cutting in because there's a car behind him, and I'm like, continuity, you can't have that. So that's why it looks weird if you can tell there. There in one of our fight scenes, I don't like cutting a lot. I don't really like cutting, period, to be honest. That's one of the reasons why I do longer takes. I'm like, just have the camera, bro, and freaking move it around. Chill, bro. Don't cut so many times. Freaking jarring me. But anyway, so I want to have like show the good choreography with the fight scene, but it wasn't good enough. We didn't choreograph it enough, didn't practice enough, and so you can tell that like we're waiting for attacks to come, which is why when we reshot it, I was like, okay, we just need to do more cuts basically, and it was a lot more cutting in the fight than I wanted it to be. But for the average moviegoer, people have complimented me on the fight, said it's a good fight, scene, even though I'm like, yeah, it's not what I was wanting, but it's good enough, so I'm happy enough with that. The ankle break, that was freaking sick, let's be honest. Put my hand in the boot. I think I put my hand in the boot, yeah, and I was just like that, you know what I mean? And that looks pretty good. Speaking of the ankle snap, while we're here, I remember like we're doing the part, and I'm saying, Gribbo, bro, you just got to hit me. I'm trying to grab you and I'm trying to come around you, and I need you to just be punch me. And Gribbo's like, I am, dude, I'm punching you. I'm like, Gribbo, I'm serious, bro, freaking punch me. I was not feeling it. I don't know if it's because it was cold, what I was just hyped up on adrenaline, or what was going on. But looking back at the footage, I was like, oh no, this guy's punching the hell out of me, bro. But I literally just did not feel it on the night, even though I'm like, Gribbo, hit me, bro, what are you doing, man? I am. Like, bro, you're not hitting me. He was hitting me. Pretty funny. Now, that moves us on to my greatest weakness. Foley. I don't know how to do Foley. How to do sound at all, really. It's just not... It's not my thing, bro. It's not for me. And I hate doing it so much that I'm not going to figure it out. I'm one guy, bro. You've only got so much time in your life. You can't learn a billion different skills. You've got to commit to a few. Literally, I'm at my mic just slapping myself, punching myself, slapping myself in the face, trying to do the sound effects for this freaking movie. When it hits against clothes, sometimes I think it actually sounds good. Because I also don't want like Hollywood ass punching sound effects. Immersion breaking our sound effects. I mean, I don't want that. But most of it, I know that it's rubbish, dude. I know when I'm getting punched in the face and all that kind of stuff, I know that it sounds terrible. And I'm sorry. I'm not trying to have a defeatist attitude when I say that I can't do it. But sometimes, yeah, you can't do it all, like I said. And I can't do Foley. If I were to do it again, I would freaking do the Foley myself as best I could, and then I would like hire someone, pay someone, send it to someone who can do Foley, and say, hey, freaking fix this up, please. This is what I think sounds good. This is what I'm going to take out, what doesn't sound any good at all. Please fix this, make it sound good. Couple things that are good, when I kick Gribbo down, I think that sounds pretty good, because hits on clothes, bro, not that hard, because you just do it. You just hit yourself on the clothes. It sounds okay. But skin. How do you do that, bro? How do you do the face particularly? That's freaking hard. The ankle snap sounds pretty good. But that's just, you're just snapping a stick. Again, so that's pretty easy. You know what I mean? How do you do face hits? How do you do a face hit, bro? It's too hard. Anyway. So the drone flying scene. I was very scared to do this shot. Thinking like, oh, they can track where your drone is, they know where it is at all times, you could just sign up to this app and you can't be in certain flying spaces, and I'm thinking, the city, bro, you're not going to be allowed to fly a drone in the city, especially high. Like, oh. But I didn't really have any freaking, I did end up making a little post or asking, and people were like, oh, nah, saying all kind of scary stuff, and I was like, bro, frick that, man. We're just going and doing it. If the app says we can't fly it, oh, I don't know what the hell it will do, but we'll just figure it out. And the app didn't stop us. It let us just fly. I kind of said I'm a believer in guerrilla, just not getting permission, just going and doing things and getting out of there. And you got to be smart with it. Don't freaking just fly around the city and catch all attention. Set up the scene, fly your drone, bring your drone back in. That's it. Now you're done with it, and all freaking good. No questions asked, no calls, no nothing. People will ruin it though. They won't be discreet, they'll take the piss, and they'll ruin it for other people. Like gel blasters in WA. Frickin' bro, how cool are gel blasters? Remember those freaking things, bro? Guns? Shooting gel balls at each other. If people were just having gel blasters, set up little clubs, go into paddock somewhere and shoot each other, no problem. But you get dickheads, bro. You get absolute idiot kids with their idiot parents who don't know how to parent kids or be in their lives, just let them do whatever they want, running around the streets with these freaking real-ass looking guns. Getting the TRG caught on them, the TRG pulling up, aiming their freaking real AR-15s, go for it, freaking and now freaking the gel blasters have been banned. They shoot gel balls, but because of these idiots ruining it for everybody else, gel blasters have been banned in the whole state. It's that sort of thing. Don't take the piss and ruin it for other people. If you're doing something that's a little bit, it's not dodgy, it's not freaking, you're not doing anything wrong. But if everyone starts doing it, people are going to have problems with it. So freaking be discreet, dial it in, And if no one's there to be in trouble or get pissed off, it's fine, bro. Okay, relax. Sort of on the topic about being discreet is the carjacking scene. At the very end, we needed the public crime. Okay, we needed the public crime to show society is caught up with the collapse, and now we're quickly seeing the consequences. Okay, people are catching on to the collapse of society, and they're freaking already running amok. Need to show there's a crime in public to show this is happening. To get this shot, we literally just had to do it. There was no other way. I set the camera up at the car park, had Danny on the phone, Egg in the car, or him, Egg, Danny and Egg both in the car. I'm watching from the rooftop and I was waiting for there to be like no cars. Danny sees his opportunity though, and he's like, I'm just going for it. And I'm just like, I just shut the hell up, because I was like, bro, there's cars coming, but I just shut up, just let him do his thing. Egg can't drive, so they pull up, they swap seats, and they play out the scene. Why did we need to do it that way? Oh yeah, because Egg can't drive away. So Danny pulls up, they swap seats, Egg's in the driver's seat, Danny runs a few steps, and then he runs towards the car. Boom, does a freaking carjacking, and then gets in the car and drives off as Egg crawls away. Everyone there, the car that pulls up behind him, just a random car. People can't see the camera up there or see what's going on. And people walking past as well. No one cared. No one gave a damn, bro, of this guy just getting carjacked. Egg crawling across the city as freaking someone gets in his car and drives away. No one cared. The car behind him has probably seen the car swap happen and seen this weird situation. The people walking past didn't see it. They were just like, oh, alright, cool. Yeah. But, cool ass scene. Did a little Foley. If you listen closely, I think the stabbing sound effect, I did put one in there. But it's very far away, so I'm like, it's got to be very subtle, and it is. You can actually, if you listen, you hear little, you know what I mean? Yeah. There you go. That is Never Fear Man. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this was, I don't know, interesting, or maybe helpful if you're a filmmaker.